right, that is time. Our next speaker, Romain, has also prepared an introduction for me before he comes up here. And here it goes. Romain will present at the ANGE, an entrepreneurship conference in Portugal on May 22nd. The audience will be majority composed of Portuguese tech entrepreneurs, corporate executives, and venture capitalists. Keep in mind that this keynote presentation will realistically last for 20 minutes, but tonight we have to Romain will be giving us a shorter version. Why hating chemistry led me to work on the iPhone. Romain, why hating chemistry led me to work on the iPhone.
I grew up in a small town in the French Alps called La Lavra, 8,000 people only. In high school, it was easy to dive again, but I was a good student. I was really into math. I was really excited about physics, and I started to develop a passion for technology. But I have to be honest with you, I hated chemistry. In fact, I hated chemistry so much that it was impossible for me to motivate myself to study for the exams. And as a result, my grades suffered. One day, I was part of the class council, I was the representative. And I listened to all my teachers giving their comments about my classmates. And when they finally talked about me, they only were saying great things. All of them, but one. My chemistry teacher, who was sitting next to me, spoke up and she said that my poor performance in chemistry was a strong indicator that I would never be able to go to college in grad school. I was so pissed. How could she possibly say that? And she's sitting next to me. It's like she was slapping me on my face. But I was also scared. What if she was right? 12 years later, I graduated from Stanford Business School, and I received my second master's degree. But I thought about my chemistry teacher back in high school. I thought about what she said. And I realized that the biggest barrier for success was not about my capabilities. It was really about myself and the ability to overcome myself. And we as Europeans are really good about this. We put a lot of barriers on ourselves that pretend that are on the way to success. So over the last 16 years or so, I decided to apply 3 principles that would help me to overcome myself to reach success. I worked at many companies in Silicon Valley. And today, I would like to share with you those 3 principles. The first one is play offense. First year MBA students, they have to find an internship. But I didn't want to work at any company. I wanted to work at a company I was really excited, working on a very exciting product. I heard that Apple was working on the phone. It was before they announced the iPhone. So when I was invited to go to the MBA information session in Cupertino, I decided to go. But I had no interest in the jobs that they were talking about, especially not the ones in finance. That day, my goal was to meet the recruiter. And a few months later, on January 9, 2007, Steve Jobs revealed the iPhone. And a few hours later, I emailed her and I said, that's why I came to that information session. That's what I want to do this summer. She told me there's only one position in the product marketing team. And a few months later, I joined the iPhone team and I worked on the launch in the US. So I want you to think about what is it that you want to accomplish and then figure out the path to get there, no matter how ambitious this objective is. The second principle is about be non-consensus. When Steve Jobs came up with the idea of the iPhone, he wanted to create a phone that people fell in love with. And I worked for 5 years in the mobile industry before joining that team, and it was very far from the status quo. Phones, they used to have keyboards and visible antennas. I remember talking to a former coworker of mine who told me that this is not a phone, it's a toy, because a phone has to have a keyboard. The iPhone was non-consensus, and he also redefined its category. My professor at Stanford, Andy Radcliffe, put it very well. He said that your idea is either right or wrong, but also consensus or non-consensus. And if you are wrong, you're not going to be successful. If you are right and you are consensus, you're not going to be successful either. Only if you are right and non-consensus. So I want you to think about your idea that you're working on. And if your family members, your friends are telling you that this is the stupidest idea they ever heard, you might be onto something. The third principle is about the customers. I've seen a lot of companies in Silicon Valley, once they reach product market fit, they go full speed into being data-driven, and that's great, that's absolutely required. However, too often, they pay less attention to their customers, especially the founders and the product leaders. And as a result, you start missing the details. You start being disconnected from the problems that your customers are facing. So a few years ago, when I was about to join Uber, I was told that full-time employees were not able to drive for legal reasons. So a few weeks before, I signed up to be a driver. And this experience of driving was so impactful in every single product that I was involved with. My team at Uber was called the driver engagement team, was not allowed to drive. So the next best thing was for them to be in contact with our drivers. So I encourage every one of them to go to the support center every single Friday, shadow conversations between drivers and support specialists. And the impact was absolutely phenomenal. We wanted to be the team at Uber that understood the drivers the best. And we developed a sense of empathy, connection, and as a result, our products became better. So the day you reach product market fit, don't stop talking to your customers. Continue talking to your customers, extract all the insights, and understand all the nuances that those conversations will tell you. When I think about what my chemistry teacher told me in high school, my feelings of frustration, anger, and fear have been replaced with a great sense of gratitude. Because if she did not plant that seed, I would not have been able to understand that I had to overcome myself. I was the biggest barrier to success. I would not have been able to do what I've done. So I want you to think about your limitations today, wherever they are coming from. Maybe they're coming from your culture, your education, social pressure, and challenge them. You have the right to be ambitious. And I know that for Europeans, ambition and arrogance are concepts that we sometimes put together. It doesn't have to be that way. Challenge your own limitations, and I have no doubt that one day, at least one of you will create the next Apple or Uber. Mr. Thomas.